How safe are you really? To be safe, what does that really mean? We watch the news, and even more recently with things that have gone over and over and over again the last couple months, how it seems that hatred is on the rise and getting justice falls into the hands of whoever wants it. Now, I've often wondered with this, is it really that hate's on the rise, or that injustice is going rampant and justice has been placed into other people's hands? When we take a look at the Bible comes and tells us continually that it's not that hate is growing stronger, it's that we're all of a sudden noticing it more. And even now, because of social media, because of how the news is now, we see this concept at a rampant pace. Not only is it right in front of our faces, but we get so afraid that it makes everything else in our life bottom out. Now is the time that we need to stop and to remember the promises of old, where Jesus continually promises us that He will be with us always, and that our safety is not something that we need to worry about. It's sad that we have to come and even talk about the subject of being safe or not being safe. Personally, I remember in times in ministry going around the world, there were certain places that I could go out and I could walk in the middle of the night, and I knew I was perfectly safe. But then I come home, and sometimes it feels like I can't even walk in the middle of the daylight and be perfectly safe. Even though that may be the case, here's what I'm thankful for yet again. Even though I may not be safe walking out the door, crossing the street, Jesus says that in Him I am safe. It's time for us to stop, to reconsider what safety truly means, and to put our hope in the one and the only one that can keep us safe, and that's Jesus Himself. As we look at the stories of the disciples and the apostles of old, they were called to be witnesses, to bear a testimony to their lives as it was in Jesus. When it comes to being a witness, it doesn't just mean that we have gone and we've given our all. That word witness, or to give a testimony of, comes from the original word that we get for martyr. Now, often when we talk about the word martyr or martyrdom or to be martyred, all that we're thinking is, oh no, those people gave their lives, and so that means that that's what God is calling me to. Now, it's true. God calls all of us to be a martyr. However, not all of us are called to lay down our lives for the sake of the gospel. What we are called to is to give our lives to the sake of the gospel, and if God asks us to lay it all down, to lay our lives down, He promises that our lives will be picked up again, and we will be in that resurrection when Jesus comes to take us home. But even with that concept, the whole thing with taking us home is taking us out of this world for 1,000 years to understand the justice and the mercy of God. And then He brings us back home to an earth created new after the judgment is finally completed. It is not until the judgment is finally completed that earth is recreated. Once earth is recreated, that is where eternity will forever be and we will be able to explore the ceaseless ages and the ceaseless bounds of space, because there's nothing to fear, and our safety is even more secure because what was not safe is forever gone. Let's remember that as we continue through these moments and as Jesus continues to lead us on this journey. Today's verse that we're taking a look at comes from Psalms chapter 91 in verse 3, and it says, "Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence." I am so thankful that God's word remains the same. That it is the same as it was back in David's time as it is today, that because he says that he will keep us safe, his promise remains the same. And this is something that we can continue to bank on and know that God will continue this through these ages and into the ages to come, where safety even more will be forever secure. Thank you again for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time as we continue to study God's Word together. God bless.